I am so over this Superman curl that's in my hair all the time. Do you see this? Like, it just like, it looks so stupid. I don't know why it does that. That's gonna distract me the whole video. Hopefully it won't distract you. Okay, so stupid little curl in my hair aside, hey guys, it's Lilith. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are here for another reality shifting video. Today is another method video. The last time that I came at you guys with a method video, it was the Julia method. You guys can find that on the reality shifting playlist on my channel. And today I'm coming at you with the ADHD method. As with my other methods, I'm not just going to tell you how to do the method, I'm also going to suggest subliminals or guided meditations that I like to do when I do these methods, as well as rating my own personal experience with my attempts at them and how close I got to shifting when doing them. I did have to write down the steps because there's a lot, and that'll be the first thing that I review about the fact that these steps are a lot and they're kind of hard to remember. I know that there are different variations on the ADHD method, some that are less complicated or less specific, but I am taking my steps directly from the person who created the ADHD method as far as I'm aware. From what I could find, the ADHD method was originally created by Katie Mouse on TikTok. And the list of steps that I'm going to give you were the steps explained exactly how Katie explained them as the creator of the method. The first step to this method, lay in a comfortable position. You don't have to be in the starfish position for this. I know some people prefer to be. Sometimes I think it's easier to do shifting methods in the starfish position because it keeps me awake a little bit longer so I don't fall asleep immediately into my shifting method, but for this, just get into whatever position you want to. Step number 2 is to put on headphones or earbuds and listen to 8D music. If you don't know what 8D music is, it's the kind of music that goes between your headphones so it sounds like it's going around your head while you're listening to it. This step is to kind of help your ADHD have something to focus on. This music is really good for people that are neurodivergent, which makes it the perfect thing to do for this method. I know that they probably have 8D music on Spotify and stuff like that. I know for sure they have it on YouTube, and I personally, whenever I'm trying to shift, whether I'm using a guided meditation or a sub or music, I am using the Musi app. And I created a playlist on there of music that reminds me of 2 different DRs, one for my Harry Potter DR and one for my Marvel DR. I still need to do one for the DR that I'm currently trying to focus on, which sadly, because I'm obsessed, is my House of the Dragon DR. If you want to hear more about that, then please let me know in the comments, and I'll make an entire video about that. I'm also thinking of doing separate videos about explaining and talking about my Hogwarts DR as well as my Marvel DR. But find 8D music to listen to, make a playlist of music that makes you think of your DR, and it'll help inspire as well as distract. Step 3 is to count with the tempo of the music each time it goes around your head. So each time it makes a round, that's a number. 1, 2, 3, and so on. You're gonna keep doing this all the way to 100. Now, this is the part where it starts to get a little complicated for me, which seems to be a little bit of a hitch in the ADHD method for me, and why I had to write it down, which is when you get to intervals of 10 and you're counting to 100, 10, 20, 30, and so on, you have to say 3 affirmations in a row, and it's specifically 3 affirmations given by the creator. I am shifting to my desired reality. I feel symptoms and am unafraid. The closer I get to shifting, the calmer my body becomes. This to me personally is an issue because I don't know if it's everyone who has ADHD or just a lot of people who have ADHD. And also, you don't have to have ADHD to do this method, but I'm just saying this as someone who has ADHD that has tried this method. I don't have the best memory because I have ADHD. Being forgetful is one of the biggest side effects of ADHD for me. And so remembering the exact affirmations in a specific order is what trips me up, and I end up getting frustrated and it pulls me out and I get mad. So personally, when I do the method, I either do whatever 3 affirmations that I want, that I feel the most connected to and comfortable with at the moment, or I just don't stop at every interval of 10 and I just count to 100 uninterrupted. I have seen other people talk about doing that as well, but it's something personally I kind of have to adjust on the method because I'm not going to be able to remember those exact 3 affirmations in that exact order. Half of the time, I do also forget to stop every 10. But according to the original method, you will do that all the way up to 100. Step number 5 is to ask yourself if you have permission to shift. Now, the original creator, I believe, if I remember correctly, did say something about if you are a visualizing person and you want to visualize your DR self and physically like ask your DR self if you have permission, you can do that. If not, just kind of ask yourself in that meditative state without visualizing if you have permission to shift, and give yourself the permission to shift to your desired reality. Step number 6 is where the ADHD kind of comes in handy and we let our minds wander. At this point, you sit back and you relax and you listen to your music and you let your mind wander and create memories and scenarios from your DR with your DR loved ones. You can do that for however long that you need to. The last step is to picture your DR self sleeping in the exact same position that you are in, but in your DR bed, and then fall asleep with the intention of waking up in that position, in your DR bed, in your DR. Now, I personally have tried this method on and off several times. I think the first time that I did this was about a year ago. And when I first tried it, I think I had a lucid dream, but I didn't shift. Now, what I've recognized to be the problem for me personally, this is not going to be a problem for everybody, but for me personally, is the affirmations in a certain order being specific affirmations. For me, it's too hard to specifically remember specific affirmations to say. And I start to wonder, oh my God, am I saying the wrong ones? Am I saying them in the wrong order? Did I skip doing it at 20 and now that I'm at 30? It's already hard enough for me not to get screwed up when trying to shift because I also have OCD as well as ADHD. And those two things together can sometimes really butt heads. So for me personally, like I said, I have to adjust this method accordingly, which usually includes me having to get rid of the thing where I say affirmations every 10 steps in the counting process. Used to, when I would do it, I would try to stick to those exact affirmations in that exact order that the creator made them and suggested them. But then eventually I was getting really frustrated with forgetting, and then I was quitting mid-method because I was so angry about it. And so then I instead decided to say whatever affirmations I felt comfortable with. But then I realized I also had an issue with trying to say affirmations every 10 counts because I was forgetting, because I was getting into the counting and already starting to visualize. So I personally had to take that step out, because at that point it got too complicated and I started associating the method with being incredibly frustrated. Now, I know not every person with ADHD has this problem the way that I do, but I personally don't feel as distracted by 8D music as other people do. I like it and it tickles the neurodivergent part of my brain, but it doesn't give my brain something to focus on the way that it does other people who are neurodivergent. To me, it just kind of hits the same way as regular music as far as my focus. So it's not gonna help give my brain something to focus on. I still am going to be in a place of having trouble focusing on my actual method while it's going on. Even though this method is crafted to help people with ADHD and focus problems to shift, I just think personally for me, it's too many steps. I've seen it work for a lot of other people, even people who don't have ADHD, and that's great and incredible. But I personally have issues with it. Now, when it became a big game changer for me, and this is my one recommendation for this video, is the ADHD guided meditation by Alunir. I am out here ride or die for Alunir. Her stuff is so good. Also knocks me out right quick if I'm having a hard time with my insomnia. Her ADHD guided meditation gave me the right level of stuff that I needed in order to stay focused, but also on the right things. During the whole method, it's all 8D audio, but on her voice as well as the background sounds. She also randomly throughout it is snapping to get your attention, so it's in different places in your ear, so suddenly your attention is called. Yes, it makes me sound a little bit like an agitated puppy, but it works, so I don't care. So while she's doing that, she's also guiding you on your breathing and encouraging you. She tells you to take a deep breath in, she's counting the breaths, telling you you're doing good, tell you when to let it out, count the out, and she's snapping and it's in 8D. And while that's going on, she'll sprinkle in a question about your DR, like what color the walls are, or what DR you're going to, stuff like that. Yes, it sounds like a lot, which I know sounds confusing considering I was like, the method has too many steps, but following the guided meditation was crazy for me, and I got so many symptoms when I followed the guided meditation by Alunir. And to me, that made all the difference for that method. Having the 8D audio and the snapping and the counting and the encouragement along with the questions helped so much to keep my focus, and I stayed awake as long as I needed to in the method. So that's my big suggestion for this method. All in all, I think that my rating of the method depends on if I'm using that meditation or not. If I'm not using the Alonier guided meditation, it's like a 2-star method. But if I'm using the Alonier meditation, it's a 4-star. I think as far as how I would rank methods I've talked about on this channel, as far as like going through the different methods, which I have so far talked about, the pillow method, the Raven method, the Julia method, and now this, I would say that this is sitting at number 2 out of those 4. The Julia method is my top, and then ADHD, then Raven, then pillow. I am going to be doing more methods in the future, as well as one that I personally created, and I'm probably going to create a playlist that's just of these different methods and my suggestions of them and my personal experiences with them, along with like talking about the steps and certain things you can adjust. So far out of those 4, that's how they rank. If I'm lucky and I can remember, then maybe I'll start putting that ranking in every video. That way you can keep track of how I view the methods that I personally have talked about in videos themselves. And with that, I think that's the end of this video. If you are not already subscribed, please hit the big red subscribe button below. Please join the family. I would really appreciate it. If there's a method that you specifically would like for me to talk about, please leave it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. If you think that this video will help somebody else who's also trying to shift or might need help with the ADHD method, please send this to them so that hopefully somebody can get some use out of it. If you are not following me on my other social media, please check them out in the links below, including both of my TikToks, my business TikTok, my Instagram, my Twitter, and please check out my small business that I run with my mother in the links below as well. I would deeply appreciate it. And I think that's all that I have for you guys today, so I'm gonna go watch House of the Dragon. Clearly this is going up late. By the time I've posted this, season 1 is probably over, but as of filming, episode 9 is happening right now, so I gotta go catch that on HBO Max. Wish me luck. I'll see you guys later. Bye.